Real Housewives of Atlanta, y'all. So Kelly and Brit are at it over a glam team. They have a whole conversation. Obviously, we know that Kelly got Brit a glam team at once upon a time, and she now trying to snatch them back. Okay, she felt like Kelly was being passive aggressive as far as Brit feeling this way. She says that, you made it seem like it was about this donation, but the real reason that you're feeling away is because of this glam squad that I'm borrowing. And that's a problem. Now, if you ask me, I don't think that is the real reason. I personally, for me, think that Kelly is tired of showing up for Brit and Brit not showing up for her. And that's the real reason that she's trying to pull the glam squad back. Now,
can you explain that one more time? So Kelly let Brit use her glam squad. Brit is using it, and now Kelly is feeling away about it.
Yeah, Brit set up a meeting to meet with Kelly's glam squad. I believe the stylist, hairstylist, makeup artist, whoever it is, she let her borrow. And she wanted to set up a meeting with them for how she can utilize their services. But Kelly does not like that. Kelly's like, I just let you use my team for a limited time for that weekend.
Got it.
Not enough for your whole life. Like, so no, you can't have access to them like that. Get your own team. It was an
I'm gonna be
in-between
honest with
thing.
you. Brit, to me, seemed like the type of bitch that was trying to negotiate buy one get one half off with her glam squad because they at the same events. So it's kind of like, how can we both utilize you for a discounted price? Because the way she ain't had no money to feed them people food at the event, she definitely is giving a discount ass bitch. I ain't gonna lie.
She is. Me personally, I had this conversation with Jeremy Speaks yesterday, and he thinks that Kelly is just as intentionally mean, or I guess like, she's an asshole just like Brit is, because of how she flip-flops all the time and how she'll be like a parakeet for other people. And I can agree with that, but I also feel like Brit is another grifter, like pretending to have money, but you don't really have money, and then you just got friends so that you could use them. To me, you didn't give a fuck about Kelly. You're just trying to use Kelly for what she can do to you, and then you also give single black female vibes. Like you'll try to, stole on a whole style, not just her style team. You'll try to steal her whole style and say that you did it first. Like that's the vibe that Brit Edie gives to me. Just like her. What she did with Kenya, I'm not letting that go. Like what she did, the way she responded to Kenya, the way she bitched out and act like, she didn't threaten the lady and all of that stuff that she did thereafter, then acting like a victim and being mad when other people didn't automatically see her as a victim. Yeah. Brit can eat out my ass with a spoon, and I'm sure she'd like to. Because all these hoes is gay. Did anybody notice how Phaedra and Brit were leaving the same room when everybody was leaving the trip?
I thought they was roommates.
Were they roommates?
Yeah. They got teamed up together. Like,
no, they wasn't roommates.
I thought they were.
I could have sworn Phaedra had her own room, but that's only because I'm so used to Phaedra always getting her own room whenever she go to shit. But either way, I still feel like they fucked.
They not roommates actually, because I think Kelly is roommates with Shamia. Kelly is roommates with Shamia. Portia is roommates with Phaedra. Okay. I'm confused.
Oh no!
Listen, whatever happened.
Yeah, they were roommates. I thought so. Yeah,
y'all talking about scrubbing ass though,
because they did like a high five or something. I thought when they said they was gonna be.
Maybe somebody mentioned in the comments that both Kelly and Brit were opportunistic, and I have to agree with you wholeheartedly, 100%. Kelly has just been doing a better job with being likable amongst the total group, but she go whichever way the wind blow. Honestly,
that's true. She's the new lap dog. Shamia gave birth.
The undercover one.
It was two things though. It was Phaedra talking about Brit's inverted nipple, and then it was later on Brit saying that she told Phaedra to bend over so she can get in all the crevices and get all the black oil off of her body after they finish jab. So yeah, them hoes is giving gay. And let's not forget last episode she took all her clothes off to make Shamia feel better. I don't know.
Bruh, did you see the clip that's going around on Twitter?
No. What clip went around on Twitter?
So it's a clip from Real Housewives of Atlanta where they literally, that's the part that they clipped out from last episode. They only showed, I think, maybe her taking her top off or about to. So last week's episode, I think they showed her about to take her top off, and then they gave us the reaction of the ladies, right? But I remember in the trailer they kind of showed her without her top on and this blurred. Well, in that video, it's the real, somebody was recording it on their laptop or either on the TV. She took this off, then she took this down, and the lady's like, "Oh my god!" And then she leaned on top. I think she leaned on the countertop.
Put her titties on the counter.
And put her butt on the countertop too. Yeah, so she was like, because she completely, but you could tell from last week's episode when she bent over on top of the countertop. I said, did she take all her clothes off? Because that's what it looked like. Even though her outfit was new, she took everything off. But
Yeah, all them hoes is fucking. And then Portia, I know everybody was like, oh, Portia and Cynthia, when Cynthia got some type of vaginal rejuvenation, Portia was there. And I still feel like, I don't know why you remember what type of clitoris Cynthia has, unless you was licking it. But okay.
They all are. Honestly, with Brit, it's hard for me to say that. I think Brit watched the show just like us, and she know that it's weird with Brit. I feel like I've seen her try to force some type of closeness through so many different methods. And so the first method was, oh my gosh, I'm a victim. So let me play victim so everybody can tell me how much they actually fuck with me. That was her first method. That's what she was doing because she wanted to be baby, little sister, welcome to the group. We would never want you to feel bad, but she didn't get that from Kenya. Then the next way she did it, I feel like, is now through this gay shit. Basically, you know that the women on the show, they like to pretend like they gay and like pretend. They like to ride, they like to do that. And I just think that that's what Brit is doing by getting, naked in front of the girls. It's actually three things. Let me not forget the second method she did was the sisterhood. I'm gonna be there for you.
I'll be there for you forever, always. Yes. I love you always, so, Mr. B.
This group is just not for her, and I think she's just trying multiple methods to try to like forge herself in this group. And now she on to the gay shit. So that's she's trying to get in where she fit in.
It's so desperate. It's really desperate. I don't like it. I'm also like, I see Kelli for her works. She they be editing her out because she be chirping and shit. So I feel like they just be, and sometimes when you little, people don't be seeing you as the same threat. They're like, oh, little girl, even though she grown, but it is giving somebody could just pick you up and then move you and then it's over. Yeah. Their conversation was also really weird. The conversation that they were having where it's like, yeah, girl, you really could have, not been so cheap. And, you were talking about all that stuff you did. And, I think that you hide behind your team. I think you hide behind your team. I was just like, girl, not the team you be trying to use, oh weird ass bitch. Yeah,
exactly.
I still really don't like Brit. Hang it up.
Damn. And her doing this lawsuit actually affected her. She should have just, I feel like, rode the wave a little bit. Because everybody has a bad season, and then maybe you could have won the fans over the next season, but it's too late.
She wasn't coming back. That's why she did this. I think she wasn't gonna come. They wasn't gonna ask her to come back.
She knew she wasn't coming back.
Or it's a failed attempt. It's a failed attempt to get some money out the situation.
But did y'all hear?
What?
Is we gonna talk about that?
What?
How they saying that allegedly they're considering scrapping Real Housewives of Atlanta in total?
Yeah, I don't believe none of that. I don't believe none of that.
I don't believe it either. Because I don't think she got a leg to stand on.
They didn't just say Atlanta. They said the Housewives, like, period. I think I heard them. Like,
that'd be a cold day in hell if Brit Edie take down
Bethany Frankel has one.
Yeah.
Other people have them. So they were saying the Housewives, period, not just Atlanta.
Well, I did do a video on it earlier today. Shout out to Giorgio Says, and he started talking about that, and I did my own research on it. But yeah, it's not necessarily a lawsuit. She just filed a summons with a notice, basically saying I'm probably gonna sue y'all, right? And here are the reasons why. And I think she has after she finally got her index number and submitted it, she may have 120 days to actually serve them. I feel like she's waiting to see how the reunion plays out, whether they're going to mention her, whether they're going to say anything else to make her get in her feelings about, and then they may file, or not so much as file, but serve. That's when the lawsuit process really starts, when you serve the defendant, putting them in a position to where they have to respond, and they have about 20 to 30 days to respond. But right now, it's just a summons saying that, hey, be on alert, I'm gonna sue y'all. Another thing that I read in the documentation was the fact that they tried to say that she was suing for 20 million. She's not suing for 20 million, but what they're asking for is that if Bravo and all the people listed do not respond, like appear in court or whatever the case is, they're asking the judge to give them a default judgment of 20 million. So basically what she's doing is she's just suing in general. So let's say she got like 3 different things, I think: sexual harassment, defamation, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. So if they find out like, oh, we're not going to give you sexual harassment, you stripped down, whatever the case was. No, we're not going to give you infliction of emotional distress because you still participated, but we'll say that they defamed you. So if she gets that one, she's found like, yeah, if they find that in her favor and they feel like, okay, we feel like that's worth $100,000, then that's just what she's going to get. She'll get 100,000, right? However, with you going up against reality TV like this and the history of it and understanding what you're signing up for, I don't see her getting anything in my personal. I feel like Bravo, I feel like it's gonna cost her more money and here's the thing, on the front end and the back, because number one, they could have took on this civil case on some, okay, well, cool, we'll take on this case, but you don't have to pay us until we win for you type thing. Well, guess what? They're gonna be running up a tab on you. So if you were to win 200,000, they gonna run it up so much that you probably ain't even gonna get a whole lot off that. Maybe enough to put a down payment on another house, if that. So that's what I'm thinking. Or they're gonna drag it out so long that it's gonna get dismissed. So I don't
And
know
that's
how
on
her
Jamie. That's me
situation.
with the
I don't.
facts.
I don't know how that's set up with her attorney to know if she, paid them right out the gate to retain their services or what. Because I mean, them billable hours ain't no joke. Okay, and it's no disrespect, but there is somebody that's going up against Miss or Miss Megan Thee Stallion. Got somebody going up against her, and Greg got a little shaky with the attorney. Okay, and the stuff adds up.
Okay.
So,
Because you ain't got no money.
so you gotta good luck to the people. But yeah, that's what it was. I was like, 20 million is crazy, but I'm glad I read it for myself to get my own understanding that yeah, she ain't suing for that. They want a default judgment that they never gonna get, because that's why they hire attorneys, for them to show up for that. But we'll see. Thank you for the super chat. I love how Niecy is nonchalantly eating her pizza, and that's on Juneteenth.
Okay.
Period.
Thank you so
You see
much.
my shirt? My hat. Black love is self love.
I love that.
That's right.
Yes. All right. So let's see what else I want us to get into. Now, this story here, um, you know what? I think I'm gonna hold off on that one. Let me ask y'all about this. I want to know if y'all feel like when it comes to, marriage and stuff, should it be normalized for men to take on the wife's last name versus the other way around? So this is Fallon and Jalen's baby. They have a little boy they just had, but it was something in here where they said they're proud. Jalen tells the Shade Room that he and Fallon Pina decided that their son should carry Fallon's last name instead of his. It was a decision we made together. The name Pina represents our household, our love, and the family we're building. It's something we both stand proudly behind. He confirms that he officially changed his last name to Pina as well. Do y'all feel like that makes him less of a man to change his last name, or do you think they should normalize men changing their last names to the wife's last name?
I think that people should do whatever they want to do, and I don't feel like that's a signifier that he's less of a man.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we was being real, like, this nigga should have took my last name, because at the end of the day, my last name got more weight to it. And his last name is not even like the right last name. Like, he was named that last name because of who his mom was married to when, you know what I'm saying, at the time, versus what his dad's real last name is.
Right.
Shit like that.
Yeah.
And then his dad was like an orphan, so he might not have even had his original last name. So because of the way their last names had shifted and shit, like, I took it. I mean, I hyphenated. But ultimately, like, nigga, you should be bonding grade too. Like, I'm just saying. Okay. Like, I think it should be about, if you're gonna make it about that, I think the name with the most weight, you know, should be carried on, or we should hyphenate. But I definitely feel like I'm glad that people are waking up that they should get outside of that, because I don't think that has anything to do with anybody's manhood. It really directly comes from how they tried to strip land rights away from women. That's the reason why you take on a man's last name and not a woman's. Because back in the day, like a long time ago, when it was a matriarchal society, women's last names were the ones that carried the weight. They were the ones that owned the land. And because they're the ones that actually gave birth to the babies were theirs. So, you know, we have done something different in recent, you know, years, and now it might be time to change to something else.
Yeah, I agree. I support that too. Like, whatever makes y'all happy, do that. Because also, maybe there is some trauma that may come with his last name, and you want to
That's
do
what I'm
away
saying.
with it.
Yes,
Maybe he don't
absolutely.
have a great relationship with his dad or respect him, or the family name. You know, because sometimes, like Bondi said, that may not be your dad's last name, maybe a family name or something, and maybe he no longer wants to be tied to that. So, I respect
Or
the decision.
or what about coming up with brand new names? Shit, why we can't do that? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
I think we could do that.
I think Janae Aiko, dad did that.
They
I think
did. Yeah,
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 her
they
dad did
always talk
that.
about that.
Mhm.
I
He
like
broke
that.
off
Um,
from the family and created his own. Yep.
yeah, I think you should do whatever you want to do, honestly. And I was thinking about what you said, Jamie. His last name, that family history, he might not even fuck with them. So it's just
Yeah.
like,
Right.
well,
And fuck them
do
people. I
whatever
don't
you
need them.
want to do.
Right. And plus,
Alright.
I do like Fallon's name. Fallon Pina. It's a good name.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, whatever they decided as a family is cool.